From 2010 to early 2013, I was in an abusive relationship. When that relationship ended, I had a lot of hatred in my heart for him. I wished bad things for him, and it was hard to move on. But I did end up getting into a new relationship, and I found God. And it was a slow moving path to get to know him. But somewhere down along that path, I think it was about 2016, when there was a church shooting, Dylan Roof, I had to wonder about forgiveness as those victims went before him and forgave him right away. And I asked my boyfriend, we have to, as Christians, we have to forgive people, to that extent, that did something so horrible. You can easily be able to say that you forgive somebody. And he said, yeah, that's what, as Christians, we need to do. We need to let that go. And I had to sit with that for a long time and think about, well, that means that I have to forgive my abuser one way or another. And it started off with just the thought of it was hard, but I had to start praying for him and to just pray that he doesn't put hands on anybody else, or pray that he finds God or finds peace. I thought I would be ready to see my abuser again, and we ran into each other about a year later, and at the sight of seeing him, I went into a full-blown panic attack, to which then led into months of depression, the deepest depression that I've ever had. And that's when I knew that I really needed to get on my path with God. I started going to church, I started reading the Bible, and turned to him for strength to come out of that depression. Cut to 2020, I found out that I was going to be in the same building with that ex-boyfriend. And knowing that I was going to have to talk to him, I wanted to reach out to him to let him know that, hey, I'm going to be here, I'm not going anywhere. I wanted to see if he was okay with that and comfortable with that. So I messaged him, and he messaged me back in total shock and apologized for years of abuse. And just reading his apology was almost more than enough for me. I cried. I felt lighter even just in that receiving that message. I said I wanted to sit and have lunch and really make sure everything was peaceful so we would both be comfortable in seeing each other in the building. And as soon as he walked in the restaurant, he hugged me. And I was taken off guard, but at the same time, I saw a changed person that was walking through those doors. Somebody who used to be unable to smile and had darkness in his eyes, but he came in open arms and embraced me. We sat, and he started apologizing right away, just went through every single thing that he's done, some of which things that I've forgotten, and telling me things that he's been through since our relationship. Drug use, it was time in jail, which caused him to have time for reflection on things that he had done wrong, and working the 12-step program. And in working the 12-step program, he told me that he had to make amends, which he made amends with a lot of people he did wrong, but he thought that he would never be able to make amends with me because of the run-in that we had years prior, where he saw me have a panic attack, and I didn't even know that he saw me have that panic attack. So he thought that amends with me was off the table. But in sitting there and hearing how far he's come and that he is a new person, essentially, I was overwhelmed with seeing that my prayers for him worked. That God, whether he knew it or not, that God worked on him. And as much as I struggled with praying for him and wondered if it would ever do any good, or is it going to do good for me? Is it going to do good for him? How will this work for me? I saw what it did, not only for him, but now in turn freed me. And I told him after he had said everything, apologized for everything, I said, I forgive you. And his eyes widened and he just said, I can't believe that I'm hearing you say that you forgive me. I think that those words, I forgive you, are powerful, and not enough people mean it. In a time where it's so easy to cancel people for things that they've done 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even, we are evolving as people every day, learning from our mistakes every day, and it's just possible that people change. I think that it was learning that Christ forgives us daily for any mistake, no matter how small or how big it is, brought me that strength, and that I would hate to be held to the worst thing that I've ever done. I've done bad things before, and I would hate to have that label and carry that around with me every day, and for everyone to just know me as that, because God has worked on me. And knowing that God has worked on me and made me a better person, how can I hold somebody else to what they did to me 10 years ago? So leaving there, I felt lighter. I felt like the sun was shining brighter. I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders, and I didn't realize that I was still holding on to some of that baggage that I had from that relationship. It was like somewhat of a dark cloud, like a shadow even, that I didn't realize was still following me, because I thought I was strong. I thought I'd moved on. I thought life was great. But it wasn't until I had that conversation with him and was able to tell him I forgive him that I realized that that was still with me, and now it's gone. You know, everything is brighter. I'm happier. I'm a happier person, and I'm more free. I think that I got justice in receiving peace. I think most people would see justice in this situation as him going to jail or him getting punished for directly what he did to me. Now, he did do time in jail, but not for anything that he did to me. But justice for me in this situation is him being able to realize that he was wrong and able to apologize for what he did and make a change in who he is. That's justice for me.